Hey guys, how's it going? Joey here with a patch 14.7 rundown. This patch is honestly one that's low-key willing to be skipped. I don't really think any of the changes are that great. I don't think any of the changes are like that bad. Nothing's really too impactful, I'd say. They're removing some champions from their like roles that they're able to play, but overall, I wouldn't really say this is like the biggest patch release. So I'll try to go through it pretty quickly. But if you guys do enjoy the videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it a lot. Let's get straight into it. Camille is too weak in top lane, so they're buffing its overall top lane. This is probably a small nerf to Camille's support because all these buffs are like, although these buffs are decent, the E damage on hookshot for level 1 and how you can use that is a little bit worse, but everything else is a little bit buffed, so it's like probably not really going to affect Camille support too much. And it's probably just going to affect Camille top in probably a positive way. Getting cooldown on Q feels probably pretty good. I mean, that affects Camille support pretty well as well, so not really the biggest change ever. Hopefully it plays a little bit more because no one's really playing Camille these days, besides for some people playing support Camille. They're nerfing Fiora base AD, not really the biggest change. I'm sure it'll drop a little bit of win rate. They over nerfed Galio when they changed how his passive works, so they're increasing the passive damage and the W reduction in E damage because they did over nerf it. It's not like the biggest give back that they're doing, but overall like fine for Galio. I haven't actually played him with the new passive changes, but maybe he's fun. If you guys are enjoying him, let me know. They are trying to make Karma a better support champion, so they're making the root duration increased at lower levels, and then they're also buffing the mantra RE. Great. I mean, I don't think Karma should be a mid laner. I think the champion should be a support. I don't think it's really that great of a support because of the fall off of it, but with the buff to the RE, which is like what you kind of want from supports in the mid late game like Karma, maybe it'll feel a little bit better. They're slightly buffing Kayn Q damage, which is fine. I actually noticed this. This is the first time I've noticed a typo in a while. 80 plus 80 plus 85%. They forgot the percent. Kind of crazy that they have typos, but is what it is. I notice them sometimes from here to here, but it's been a while. They're giving buffs to Lux like overall AP scalings. I think it's like what 10%, 5% on each passive and Q, 10% overall. Not really the biggest change to Lux or anything like that, but she has been getting like sneak buffs here and there. I'm sure the champion is actually probably quite decent right now if you are able to play it. They're nerfing Nami. The weird thing about the Nami nerf to me is Nami doesn't really feel that strong of a champion without Lucian, and Lucian doesn't feel that strong of a champion without Milio and Nami. So it's like these champions are strong together, but in isolation, I don't feel like they're that strong. Maybe the numbers were a little too high. I'm not really sure. They basically are nerfing the overall, like they're nerfing W max and E max in damage and healing. Or sorry, they're giving it more into healing, less into damage. So it's more of like support, less oppressive in lane. I don't really like that. I don't really feel like healing and laning is very fun to play against in general. I would rather them approach this in a different way, but I'm not really too sure about that one. Nasus is higher passive. Regen, again, it's just going to be less hard to punish Nasus, and Q is a little bit more damage in early game. While scaling, it matters not that much in early game. Like maybe you'll get stacks that you would have missed if you weren't that good at CSing, but it's pretty easy to CS with Nasus Q because it's an auto attack reset. And this is just nice to have a little bit more lifesteal. It's not going to affect too much. I mean, it'll probably go up a little bit of win rate. People will start playing it more, and it's just like, it's one of those things, like it's kind of annoying to play various champions that just have almost too much sustain in laning, same with like the Nami W buff. But it is what it is. They're trying to make Olaf a little bit more of a jungler this patch because he used to be a really good jungler. Now people only play him in top lane, and no one's really ever playing him in jungle these days. I think his jungle win rate is probably like abysmal. He just doesn't fit that well in the meta. So they're trying to give him a little bit of a place to actually go because people don't really play him that much top lane, just so he has something going on in his life. Hold on, let me turn my sound up a little bit. I forgot to do that at the start. So they're buffing the Q monster damage. They're making the W attack speed longer and have more mana cost, which doesn't really matter for jungle. They're making the E reset faster when hitting monsters. Instead of 1, it goes to 2 seconds. And then they're giving R mana cost. So this is overall like a nerf to Olaf top because I feel like the mana cost is actually a lot in general when you're playing top lane Olaf because you aren't buying mana in early game. But overall, jungle will feel very good. They're making the fury that you get lower from minions, wards, plants. If you guys didn't know, top Rek'Sai was very oppressive this last patch. No, not oppressive, just very annoying to play against. It got so much health regen from just hitting the wave, and you just couldn't punish it. I think people even played it in pro play. Kind of crazy. I mean, nobody wanted that. Nobody wants to play versus that. So that is what it is. They decided that they went in the wrong direction with Rel. they decided they don't want to make every champion a jungler, so they decided to make her not a jungler anymore. They basically removed every single bonus damage that she has to monsters and then gave her a little bit magic resist growth. This does feel bad for support. I really enjoyed hitting camps and stuff like that when it actually did damage, because like you can actually steal dragon or you can steal blue buff or red buff or camps, but now you're just useless. It is what it is. You just do no damage to that type of stuff. But yeah, Rail Jungle just completely removed from the game. They decided it was the wrong direction for the champion. They're changing Senna's soul drop rate again. Like, I don't know how many times they've made this change. It's crazy to me. So they're changing the support minion drop chance when you kill a minion from 2.8 to 8.4. This is what they did on the last patch. They reverted it back basically, and they decided, you know what? You know what's really wrong about it is when supports kill minions with their stack, that's what we need to nerf, which is kind of reasonable. I think you were getting more souls from this. And it was kind of annoying if your support wasn't using like their stacks properly to help you CS and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I'm back again, baby. Do it one more time. Fuck it. Smolder is getting a small 80 nerf. They overnerfed her overnerfed him in the patch where they killed him. I think it was last patch. And then they're giving a little bit of crit ratio back onto the queue. Seems fine. I think the champ went to like a 47% win rate, so a little bit of a compensation buff feels good, especially armor to help it get through early game. They are overall just straight buffing Sona. Not a big fan of this. I think Sona is not really that fun to play with and not very fun to play verse. They're just giving her more damage on passive, more damage on Q, more healing on W with AP ratio, and faster movement speed when you put points into it, basically. But nobody ever puts points into E, so this is kind of like a whatever buff till like really late game, but nobody really cares about that. Volibear are cooldown. They're nerfing this again, which is kind of crazy. And that's fine. Volibear crits only increase Volibear's attack damage instead of ability damage. This is also kind of big because people were rolling Sunder Sky on the champion. So for the Q damage, and it was guaranteed crit. But the R damage they're nerfing. I think they buffed it on like 14.5. They buffed Volibear, and then they're like, maybe we made this champion a little bit too AP with the Q movement speed damage, or Q movement speed. He was too fast, and it did his ult cooldown as well. So yeah, they're taking that back a little bit. Trying to buff Silas into jungle, cool. I think that's fine. I think I'd rather have Silas in the jungle than in mid lane. I think Silas is a cool champion. I think it's very fun to play. I think it's kind of oppressive to play against if he gets really far ahead. But I think overall, fine champion to be buffed. I mean, that's cool. Like, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see. They're nerfing some items. They're nerfing a lot of support items this patch, so be aware of that. They're doing Zaxok. They're nerfing the cooldown as well as just the overall damage that it does to champions, which I don't know whether they're doing a double nerf to it. There's been a lot of support hate from Riot Games in the past couple of patches. First, they nerfed the minion gold that we're getting, and now they're also the overall gold that we're getting and how fast we're getting it. Now they're also nerfing the first item spikes of the support upgrade items or mythics or whatever you want to call them. And they're doing it for a lot of them. They've been doing it over the past couple of patches a lot too. So it feels like they're just taking a lot away from support. Like your 2-item spike when you're playing mage support is just too weak now. Like it's just getting weaker and weaker. You're getting your items later. You're getting your actual spike items like way later. So mage supports are going to probably feel pretty bad right now, I'd imagine. So just pushing further and further into melee support meta or enchanted support meta. Which is like, I guess, fine. They're nerfing Bloodsong by 150%. This is just a nerf to like Camille, Senna, Pyke, I guess, builds it sometimes. People started going away from Bloodsong after the nerfs that it's already had. So I guess they're just nerfing it again. That's whatever, sure. Imperial Mandate nerfs. This is honestly just affecting Nami, but Nami also got nerfed, so I'm not really too sure. I'm not really sure who is actually building Imperial Mandate besides Nami. I guess maybe like Seraphine or Lux or like these other different types of supports with a lot of slows in their kit. That's fine. This is a really big one. This is actually going to shift the meta way back to where it was before the static changes. Basically, the static shift was it was just the best first item for 80 carries, and it gave wave clear, and it was really cheap. So it was like, this item is super, super broken. For that reason, they're making it a little bit more expensive, so now it's much more comparable to Kraken in price, and people will probably go back to building Kraken on most 80 carries. Like 80 carries that shouldn't have been building Static Shift started building Static Shift, like Aphelios and like Jinx. I think the only person who's really going to build Static Shift now is Zeri, I want to say. But yeah, they're taking away the Static Shift, which is great. I mean, the wave clear is really, really annoying in mid-late game, as well as just the ability to get the 2-item spikes so early with the Infinity Edge buff as well. This item became very oppressive. They're changing how the World's Atlas minion rule works a little bit, which is fine. I mean, just don't want 2 people having it and stuff like that. ARM changes. I thought the skin change, or the skins that are coming out are actually pretty cool. Dinosaur Cho'Gath looks pretty cool. The Ornn looks pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, this isn't really the biggest patch. It's apparently a trend of Riot to not really change the game 1.14.7 at all, because it's going into MSI patch. I think 14.8 is the MSI patch. So maybe there'll be a bigger patch for MSI or something like that. But honestly, not really too thrilled about these changes. Nothing really that excites me or makes me like happy to see or like fun to see. It's just kind of like all whatever buffs or all whatever nerfs and just more changes to support item that honestly are just making the role more and more unfun to play. I've been playing a lot more AD carry in solo queue because of that. Like I just feel like it's becoming more and more like a dog role, and you can't really have like your own individual expression in support where you just really do have to play for your teammates. And maybe that's what they want the role to be like, because it does make sense that you kind of should be doing that when you play a support role. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you guys in the next patch rundown. Bye.